they've cut their own throats, as we all know, right? He's not a legit, like, stenographer. Yeah.
The keyboard's like a.
See how fast he goes.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, welcome to the Village of Skokie Appearance Commission meeting for Wednesday, April 26th. This one was pushed a little bit because of the Passover holiday. In many cases, we have, on the residential side, neighbors were given notice about what we're doing here tonight. And in many of those cases, those neighbors are welcome to participate. Out of curiosity, how many people do we have here that are neighbors on a case, just so I know? Okay, great. So all I ask is when we get, just remain quiet. When we get to the case, we'll debate it, and if somebody wants to come up and speak, we've got two podiums, so we'll get to that when we get to that, okay? For the applicants, when you were checked in to get your building permits or dropped off, you were given instructions what we're going to be doing here tonight. This is the Appearance Commission. That's all we do. We're looking at is the appearance of the existing of the structure that's going to be proposed, and that's what we're rendering our decisions on. We're also given comments from the village staff that, Commissioner, to my left, to your right, will be reading into the record when I call a case. When I call a case, if you're the petitioner or the applicant, please come up to either of the two podiums, and Brian will run the drawings up on the screen, and we'll make some discussions and some Q&A. Hopefully you brought samples on some of the cases where we need, if you're going to introduce new materials to the structure. That said, anybody who's going to speak tonight or plans to come up and speak, you need to stand up and get sworn in. So if you're an applicant and you plan on coming up, or if you're a neighbor and you want to come up and say something, you need to stand up and get sworn in.
If you don't get sworn in, you can't talk.
That's fine.
All right. Do you swear, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm testimony you give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Now, we have a lot of cases, so we're going to try to get through this expeditiously as possible. If something needs to be redesigned, we're not going to redesign it for you. We're going to send you away, and we'll see you next month. That said, I'll ask for somebody to make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Sure. I make a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of March 8th, 2023, as presented.
Okay.
Second.
Motion presented by Tom DeMario, seconded by Julie, for the record. This is new this month. We're having somebody take minutes, so I might have to take an extra minute to announce names, or commissioners, please announce your name if you're going to make a motion or second something. All in favor on that motion?
Aye.
Aye, so passed. Okay, case number 2023-009A at 4025 Suffield Court, a new detached residence.
A fire sprinkler
Is there anybody here for that case? You're the applicant? As I said, come on up and we'll talk.
A fire sprinkler is required in the new building. Staff has no objections with the proposed elevations.
have any comment to it.
It's beautiful.
It's really nice submittal package, and it hits all the targets that I always usually look for with the, you know, brackets above the garage. The proportions are great. The materials look like they're really solid, so I have no
Great.
no comments other than that.
Great. Any neighbors? Okay, great. Before I call the next case, I want to figure out what case you're all here for, so I don't forget about you. Anybody else have any other comments? Okay, then somebody make a motion. Announce yourself.
Tom DeMario, I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number 2023-009A at 4025 Suffield Court as presented.
Second.
Second. Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so passed. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good to be first, isn't it? Neighbors, can I just get an idea what case you guys are here for? Just rattle off an address or a street. No, I haven't called a case. There's some scattered concerned neighbors. I want to know what case you're here for, just so I know.
8115 lot.
Okay, you're here for the
East
two
Prairie.
houses on East Prairie, right? Is everybody here for that? Okay, great, just so I know. Case 2023-010A at 8937 Samoset Trail. It's a second floor addition.
The staff has no objections to the proposed elevations. The color of the siding should complement the existing building.
I'm not sure if it matters at all, but there's a small typo. It's not a second floor addition. We're just extending out the kitchen, so it's just on the main floor.
Gotcha. It's a first floor addition.
Yes.
Because you're like, I can't afford a two-story.
Start with one floor.
That's the view from the front. There isn't really too much because it's behind the attached garage.
What is the color of the siding that you're proposing? Or did you bring samples?
I brought the pictures that we took.
Sure.
I don't know the different coloring. I'm a little colorblind, so I'll let you guys tell me what color it is.
It's existing. That's gonna go behind.
Existing,
Yeah.
existing.
Joe, do you have any comment from what you've seen in the package, or?
Yeah, I like it.
Anybody?
I like the fact that you're respecting the original architecture. The neighborhood's, you know, got some pretty cool features of some of the homes.
Thank
And I
you.
like that you respected that. So that's all I've got to say.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Shauna, Mary Jane, any comment? Julie or Tom or Greg?
No, looks fine.
Cool. All right. Julie, if you have no
Sure.
comment, why don't you announce
Julie Elmiak.
yeah.
I think you can hear me. I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted in case number 2023-010A at 8937 Samoset Trail as presented.
Any second?
Second.
Second.
I'm doing that, so good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so pass. Good luck
Thank you.
with your
If
first.
you want
floor.
your photos. Oh, there's more over here too.
Case 2023-014A at 4946 Estes Avenue for a second floor residential addition. Did we get that right? Second floor addition?
Yep.
All right.
A fire sprinkler is required due to the size of the addition. The stucco color should complement the color of the brick.
Such a nice rendering, can't you turn it? I can't read the height. You can just call it out, Brian. I don't know. 28?
No, they list I think they list elevations, not the height.
So you got 8 and 10 on the first floor, 1 foot truss, floor truss, and then 8 foot.
You're doing some quick math, Joe?
Yeah, so it's 19 to the top of the eave, and then whatever the roof is, and I don't
Okay.
see
So
what that is.
it's less than 28. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody have any comments on this?
This is really well done, just the proportions of it, and it's, you know, it's taking a small 50s house and putting a second floor on it, and everything is, I mean, doing a 10-foot ceiling on the first floor, and then the shorter second floor just kind of fits in with the neighborhood really well.
That material on the second floor on the left side, what am I looking at there? Is that stucco or brick?
It's stucco.
Okay. It's not EFS, correct?
It's stucco?
Real stucco.
Stucco?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't have any comment. Anybody else have any?
Looks good.
Looking fine.
Hope the rest of the cases are going this way. Mary Jane, you want to feel like making a motion for this?
Oh. Before I do, what is the stucco color?
He's got it.
Oh,
Like a
okay.
creamy
I didn't see-
color.
Yeah. Okay, I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted to case 2023-014A at 4946 Estes Avenue as presented.
That's Mary Jane Klein. Any second?
Second.
Jay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed. Good luck.
Thank you.
Sure. Case number 2023-015A at 7940 Laurel Avenue for a first and second floor residential addition.
A fire sprinkler is required due to the size of the addition. Staff is not supportive of the existing brown brick being a match with the new gray and black facade. So there are a number of renderings that imply that the brick is not quite as brown as it looks there.
Yeah, the front
Like-
facade has the
like
first
there.
floor stone, sorry.
There it looks brown, and in the first two, it looks more gray. So
So the-
what is more accurate?
So there are two different materials. So the front of the house is first floor stone, Perry stone. That's more of a gray color.
Mhm.
And as it wraps around the building it turns into that brown brick. So the gray and the white tones complement the stone. That's basically the prominent feature from the street. The rest of the building, it's on, in the rear, that's that
Original
brick.
brick.
Like just common brick, or is
Yeah,
it a?
well, it's a
or
face
is-
brick.
It's a face brick, but
Yeah.
it's the 1950s.
Yeah, that's why we kind of kept it white tone in the back to kind of complement that.
Do we, Brian, do you have neighbors? Any photos?
Across the street are the modern houses that were built by Peter Nicholas.
Which of those are your neighbors, please?
So that one is the neighbor if you're facing the building to the right. And I believe that one's to the left.
Okay.
And it's two houses down. So that's that stone in the front.
That's existing, right?
Mhm, yes. So that was a challenge. We have really two distinctive colors, so we kind of went with the front elevation as a primary and complemented that.
Any other comments? Or
So,
concerns?
so your neighbors are gonna see a fairly uniform, you know, they've been looking at it for years, right? To the side and to the back. The front will look new
Yes,
and gray tone.
right.
I have no problem with it.
Do the neighbors have the same brick color?
I know this one is, I believe it's a lighter color brick, but they're all kind of the similar brick down in the black. So it's that same tone of brown brick.
Can we see the rendering again?
Yeah, that would be great. If you
I
can
need to
scroll
see
to
the
the rendering.
The rendering.
Starting
again.
with the two-dimensional one, if there is.
Yeah.
I think there was, the first one was a 2D or closer to
Just
straight
doesn't
on.
look-
Yeah, this one first. And
That doesn't look like.
I'm concerned that the windows on the second floor are kind of bouncing all over the
Yeah,
place.
they're too different.
The one all the way to the left seems that like it's got a lower height to it than the one over the garage, and then the one in the middle seems like it's kind of
Too big.
wildly out of proportion with the other ones. And I know that it's set
I agree.
back, it's kind of hard to see. But it seems like there's a lot, is there a reason why the windows are at different
Well,
heights?
there's a smaller bedroom, so it complements the smaller bedroom, where the one on the right is the master bedroom. And it's kind of a bay inside the master bedroom. The one in the center is this two-story elevation, so it's
Foyer.
open to below, so that center window,
It's too big.
Is the
the big one,
are the pair of windows on the left the same size as the pair of windows on the right?
yes. But they're different depths, so we have to play with,
Right, looking at it here on two dimensions.
Yep.
The one on the left is set back
yep,
a foot or two, maybe,
Yep.
from the one on the right. But still, unfortunately for you, we have to look at it in two dimensions, because that's the way you gave it to us. But I
there is
think-
a three-dimension at the
but
last
I-
page.
But I think if it
Yep.
was up a little bit,
We could adjust it, it'd be the same height if you like.
yeah, have the sill heights be the same,
No
so
problem.
that they're matched. Does that make sense, Joe?
Yeah, that's
Well,
kind of
a
what's
little down and
kind
a
of given
little
me, it's
Mm-hmm. And
I was trying to figure out what that was when I was looking at it earlier.
I get the big one in the middle, but there's a part of me that says that could be slightly skinnied up by
Smaller.
4 to 6 inches on each side, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's to matching the dimensions to the bay window below, so if you're looking at it from the inside, it kind of,
No, I get it, I get
Yeah.
it, I get it. Yeah, if he was any smaller, we would probably say, hey, can you widen it up to match the bay window?
right.
Yeah, and it is recessed
Appear-
about 4
appearance, it
feet or
just
seems Yeah.
4
Right,
feet or so. So it's those, the ones that are bumped out that, and this is I know it's, as I walk around the neighborhoods and look at all the different second floor additions that we've seen over the last 10 years. The problem is we've got 8-foot ceiling 50s ranch houses, and we're putting 10-foot ceiling second floors on, and they
Mhm.
just look like they're kind of
Definitely.
out of proportion with the rest of the house. And I don't know what you do about that other than do an expensive roof. But in this case, it seems like if you straightened out the windows, whether they're higher or make the window on the left-hand side, the smaller bedroom window, longer, bigger, just so that it fits that gable end.
Do you want it longer, or do you want it raised so that the sill heights are the same?
Ideally, it would be bigger, longer, since it's just a big plane.
So in the master one, we kept them that short, just in case, and for future, we're not showing it in the plans, they could do a build out where they could sit here and have a reading right next to the window, kind of underneath it.
Have a what, Brett? Paul?
So kind of like those
Like a
little build out benches
reading
right in front of the
bench,
window, so you can have
like a nook.
reading.
Oh, on the
Because
inside.
it
Yeah.
comes
Gotcha.
out.
Yeah.
So in which case, then a higher window or transom above it would be more appropriate.
Preferred,
Where, on the left?
The right.
right.
I thought we were talking about the pair on the left.
That one's too low.
I think it was to maintain the size of the one on the right,
Right.
to accommodate the interior build out.
See, the one over the garage doesn't bother me as much because it's a smaller bay. So the window kind of, it is what it is, but the one on the left,
Looks a little small for that.
it's just small for the space, and then you've got the big window in the middle. You've got you've got a big mass there and a
Well,
little window.
if I match the sill, sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
match the sill on the middle and make it the same height as the middle
On
one,
the left and the right.
on the left,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, the left.
That would be better.
Is there a
You're gonna get
reason-
into a much longer window, but I
Yeah.
think that might look cool.
Is there a reason why it looks like the windows on the right, like the siding is greenish, and then the rest of the house is brown and tan?
I think it's just the way it looks on the screen, but it is a version of a gray. It's a darker gray versus a very light gray.
It's gray?
It's gray,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so, we've talked about a pair of windows for quite some time, so I think what we've determined that he's gonna match the sill height of the center, which it looks like it does match, but he's gonna make it as tall as the center windows in order to make it more proportionate to the size of that bay.
The one
and
on the
height.
left?
The ones on the left, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
We're all in on that? Need to see some heads nod.
Works for me.
The garage door is white,
Yes,
planned to be white.
yes. Paneled.
All right, make a motion.
I will.
You know what they're doing with the window, right?
Yes, I do. Make a motion that a certificate of appropriateness be granted in case number 2023-015A at 7940 Laurel Avenue, with the provision that the east elevation, what is that,
Left.
south?
That's it.
Left, the window on the left of the east elevation, the sill match the center window, and the, and the
Sides be allowed.
the head match that of the center window as well.
Correct.
Center or other side? 'Cause
This-
yeah, okay.
We
The
match
center,
it.
we want it to be
Yep.
as tall as the
As
center.
the center.
Got it.
And the right-hand window is unchanged from what is proposed.
Anybody second?
Second.
Jay seconded, okay, great, all in favor? All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Brian, where do you want me to go? I got two different orders here. Do you want me to go in order of the comments, or you want me to go in order of the,
Well, we do have, it's up to you. We do have, one applicant has two cases, 9420 Drake
We're-
and
we're gonna go-
4900 Main. If
we're
you
gonna
want-
go in order of the agenda, so we'll bounce back to the old business, we'll stay on new business, so we're gonna go to case 2023-008A, 4900 Main Street, a first floor non-residential addition. Are they here? Is anybody here for A&C Architects or Shaban? No. You're on this? Yeah. How come I don't see your name on here? That's 008.
Staff has no objections to the proposed elevations for the small rear addition and facade changes. The staff feels that the changes will help enhance the look of the building and will further improve the Main Street corridor. Hi, Rafi.
Oh, sorry.
You're trying to take minutes too over there, I think.
So that's the existing building.
Yeah, it's on the north side of the street.
I'll leave this up, and if you want me to move to side or rear
No.
elevations.
Oh, thank you. I
Rafi, what's that material?
It's,
ACM?
I can hear it's metal.
Oh,
and then there is the flat, the white part is the kind of a pearly silver
Mm-hmm.
color. And the wood is a Trespa. wood
Pretty.
grain.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
It's nice.
yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's the signage?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I think we're showing it because that's what he has.
Yeah.
but they'll do
Okay.
their own sign.
I like it. Anybody have any comment? Pro or
Looks
con?
good.
Looks fine.
All right, cool. Ashana, you feel like taking a stab at this one?
Sure. I make a motion that certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number 2003-008A located at 4900 Main Street as presented.
I believe that's a typo. It's 2023 dash 008.
It's 2023.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Anybody second?
I will second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so passed. You're back again later.
Yes.
Okay, case number 2023-012A at 4999 Old Orchard Center, E58, a facade.
The staff has no objections to the facade, proposed facade changes. Staff feels these changes will fit in with the facade changes previously approved for the rest of the former Lord and Taylor building.
It's very big right there. It's right across from the parking garage. You don't really see it unless you're over there.
Right.
Yeah, this is this portion in the mall which doesn't face any streets. This is for, just to show what it'll look like.
Correct, and then that elevation right there sits directly across from the parking garage.
Right.
Okay, now I got some
Yeah.
perspective.
Is it where Lord and Taylor used to be?
Correct.
Yes.
It's a huge improvement. I
Yeah.
really, really like it, and the materials look great. I think they're gonna fit in really well, is my opinion. Do have a question. You've got a screen on that shot that screens the loading area. Is that part of this project,
Yes.
or is that, okay,
Yep.
so you would be putting that screen in
Yep.
as well? Excellent.
Are you representing the mall?
I'm representing RDL Architects
Okay.
with Our House Furniture.
Okay, so you're not representing the
Okay.
tenant. I got it.
Oh, yeah, the tenant.
Yeah. the
Right,
R-
yeah, I
RS.
understand, I understand.
I like it. Did you bring any samples?
No, just the material board.
just
that's-
graphics.
Just the rendering and the
Yeah.
material board.
Yeah, we got
Is
a
that
mix of
metal
stone
also?
veneer, ACM panels, and then the Equitone rain screen, and then the Core 10 is a weathered steel.
Yeah, I think it looks fine.
We all know what that sounds like when you knock on it. Rafi just had some, so. Okay, anybody want to make a motion?
Sure, I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number 2023-012A at 4999 Old Orchard Center, E58, as presented.
Anybody second?
I'll second it.
Julie, okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so passed. Thank you.
Thank you
luck.
very much.
Sure. For the record, I'm just going to call this case in case somebody showed up by accident, but we were informed this one was off for tonight. But case 2023-013A at 52 Tui Avenue for Bond Tui LLC, new limited service restaurant with drive-through. Anybody here? Going once, twice, thrice? Okay, great. Now we will continue back on the, these are residential cases that are old business. So I'm going to call case 2023-005A at 9420 Drake Avenue, second floor residential addition. We have revised plans.
The staff has no objections to the proposed elevations. The staff feels the current elevations are an improvement from the previous submittal.
So this is the previous submittal from last month. That's the front elevation.
There's some oil.
Sorry.
Ooh.
This is the current submittal.
Sometimes the most simple solutions. I move to, if nobody's got
Go.
anything to say,
Go.
I moved that a certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number, here we go,
005A.
2023-005A at 9420 Drake Avenue. Joe Mashek, Commissioner.
Anybody second?
Second.
All in
Tom
favor?
DeMario.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
No opposed, so passed. Thanks, Rafi.
Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Now we're gonna come to cases, although we'll look at them separately, but cases 2023-006A, 2023-007A, both on East Prairie. One's 8115 East Prairie Road. It's a new detached residence. And the other one's 8109. Is the applicant here?
I'm representative for applicant.
Okay, have you been here before?
No, first time.
This is your first time?
Yes.
Okay, come on up.
So these comments are for 8115 East Prairie. This is the proposed north house.
Excuse me 1 second.
Yeah.
Never mind, go ahead.
This is the proposed north house on a lot that is currently known as 8113 East Prairie. Fire sprinklers will be required for this new building. Staff has no objections to the proposed elevations. Staff is in favor of this building looking different than the proposed building located at 8109 East Prairie.
So before we look at that, we gotta look at them both, Bri. So you're gonna have to do a side-by-side. If you can challenge your IT senses to do that.
I have revised elevations.
What's that?
I have revised elevations for that buildings.
They're not
You have revised elevations?
Yes.
In your possession, or you turned them in?
For because that's the previous one what we have
Yeah,
what we
this,
have to
this was the first submittal for what's to be 8115. This is the revised updated for 8115 that was submitted.
Which one is 8115 on the right or the left?
It's front
No,
and rear.
that's front and rear elevations, same building.
So the difference is,
I'm
and I'll just
confused.
make that, just to kind of clear up so that we know what we're looking at, the primary difference is they went from a flat roof over the garage to a partially hipped roof over the garage. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same, it looked like to me. If you go to the original one and then what we, yeah, see, then it's interesting because you actually went
Pushed it
to
back.
almost the same elevation that's on Colmar that we
09.
approved about a year ago. Except it's not purple or dark red.
So,
They recessed the bay over the garage and put a hip roof on it.
do we know that it's officially recessed? How do we know that?
By the side elevation right here.
All right, slide it over. Okay.
Sure, I think that's an improvement.
Well, I think the pushing of it back is, I don't know if I like the hip roof in that.
No, I agree.
So let's, so that's that building. Let's look at the other building.
You want me to read the
No,
comments?
I just want to
Not
see
yet.
it. Because we're going to have, I'm sure, some neighbor discussion.
So this is the new newly proposed. And this is what was previous.
I thought we liked that previously.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
Joe, just start.
Talk
about these
I
things.
I was convinced I was gonna keep my mouth shut since I liked them last month.
Wow.
And we asked them to change everything. This is not, this one here, the west elevation is not a good one to look at. If you scroll down that roof line over, scroll down a little more, it actually is, there's like, see on that, there's a mistake on that front end elevation. If you scroll down, it's rectified in the SketchUp drawing. It fits a little better. I don't have a problem with it. I like the original ones better, but as I said, I was gonna keep my mouth shut since I was overruled on that. But if you keep going, there's a SketchUp drawing that actually shows a better,
I
a
don't
better,
understand.
yeah, this one here. So you can see that that parapet doesn't abruptly stop. It actually buries into the gable. I'm curious about what the material of that gable is and the balcony.
That's gonna be like similar to roof or like metal panels.
It'll be a metal panel. I think it could be cool, but I was really fond of the original one. But I like
I like the other one
that
better.
this is different. I like the glass panel on the
No,
on the balcony.
the first one.
It's edgy, which I like. I like the
Doesn't
fact
make
that the
sense to
balcony
me.
has got a lot of, what's an architectural word, oomph. So that kind of buries the garage a little bit. But it's different.
Does it overhang at all?
Yeah, it's protruding out beyond the garage face.
Okay,
See the
yeah.
shadow line?
And I presume the colors there are the garage color and the metal panel color similar?
Yes.
And that is it a brown or a tan or bronze?
Gray?
It will be like
Black?
dark brown.
Yeah,
Dark brown.
and that would match the parapet
Trim.
caps and the,
Yeah, like another part of this come aluminum molding, like facing.
sure.
Can I just see the front elevation again of the previous submission for this house?
It's definitely different.
Yep.
Previous one is back.
So this is really similar to the second submittal on the other lot, on 15, except for the hip roof.
Who's speaking for the neighbors? Does everybody want a shot at this thing, or what's going on? Because otherwise, we'll just keep proceeding. Was there anybody who wants to, any neighbors who want to make a comment at this point? Or are you guys just here to listen in, which is
So,
fine?
come up
Yeah,
Come on up here.
Up to the up to the
Uh,
podium and the
Sir,
microphone.
did you come in, you were in originally, right? Did you get sworn in?
How are you?
Did you get sworn in?
Name please too for the record, so we have it.
Matthew?
Do you swear, raise your right hand, please, do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so,
I'm-
real quick before you make a comment, I just want to do a little thing. So obviously, some of the neighbors were here last meeting, some weren't, I don't know. And you probably saw the original submissions, which you kind of briefly saw, and then we challenged the applicant. We said, can you do, obviously, we'd like them to look a little different from each other. And obviously, we'd like to throw in some elements to make it look like it's homogeneous with the neighborhood with traditional roof lines. You kind of see what they came with. The one on the left's got, it's changed a little bit. It's actually the protruded back on the face, and it's got a hip roof over it, a metal hip roof over it. The one on the right, go to the one on the right, the original,
Oh, I'm sorry.
the one on the right,
Wait, which one do you want?
we already compared those two. Go to
That one.
that one. that's what was the original submittal, and then they came back for a replacement of that, like that, to bring in some things. There are some of us who think we like the old ones better than the new ones, or whatever, so I just wanna give you guys, I'm just kinda letting you know where we're at. So now I wanna give you guys a chance to say what you
Yeah,
want to say.
my personal opinion is that the first one was like a two-flat building,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to this one like a single-family home, which you said is already a detached, single-family home.
They're both detached, yeah,
Yes, of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
I saw that. But when you refer to the back, last meeting, we were not here, at least I was not.
Well,
here.
some other people, some other neighbors were here when this case came up.
Was it officially been noticed?
I'm
I didn't-
quite sure,
I
I'm
didn't
quite
see
sure it
that.
was.
Signs were posted again
Yeah,
this
we had,
month.
no, but we also
And-
had neighbors here for this.
Yeah, they were neighbors last month here.
Yeah, no worries.
That's not a big deal, but, you know,
Yeah.
I also represent the Consumer Affairs Commission.
Mhm.
It is, Brian know me well. My point is that, you know, the new elevation, which looks okay, which is all double-story building, it's not a single-story ranch or bi-level. I live in a bi-level just across the street. I know them for the last 35 years. No, that's not the point. The point is that when you have this elevation, where does the sewer is being connected to the main sewer system, right?
Yeah, that's not our concern. I
That-
know
that-
it's your concern.
That'll
my
all be,
concern,
that'll all be
So-
part
but
of the.
That's all part of engineering.
Okay.
So engineering takes care of all of that. And, yeah, is there gonna be a curb cut?
Yeah, do we have another hearing with the appearance
No.
commission or with zoning
No.
commission?
No, it's.
Based on the proposals, they'll meet the zoning requirements for setbacks, building height, building coverage.
So this, my understanding is that, because I know that house and the area well, that's why I'm speaking.
If I remember, it was kinda elevated, it's, right, and.
Yeah, the house on the north is elevated by about 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, when it rains, all the water comes and accumulate on the south side,
Mhm.
just behind 8109 Keeney and East Prairie.
I get it in my yard every heavy rain.
Right. So that's why I asked you about this water.
Sure.
Where is it going? Is it going to main sewer
So-
or it's going to settle down in the
So
land?
let me try to make this brief, and Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, but what'll happen, it'll actually be now even an improvement because engineering is gonna look at the site. They're gonna engineer the site and it's gonna be graded to a proper way. And also, any water that is runoff from the house that runs to the back will be engineered such that they have to pump it to the front into the sewer system. So you're not gonna have backwater, correct me if I'm wrong. This is-
Well, they will be, it'll be surface, they will be running off to the front or back yard, they have to be set back from the neighbors.
Right.
Has to drain so it doesn't impact the neighbors. Also, again, like you mentioned, there will be a grading plan for both of these homes to compare what the existing grading is and if there's any proposed changes, if there's any necessary.
Correct.
So our civil engineer will review that as part of the permit submittal when these come in, is a grading plan with the adjacent properties, this site and the neighboring sites to make sure if water, if there's a natural pitch in the street and the grades for the properties, or if it's flat. But it won't, as part of the plan, they won't be able to raise the grade up X amount of inches, so it's higher than the neighbor's properties.
Correct, but it also won't be engineered to create more water to the back. I'm sorry.
It'll go
be
to the front,
engineered
go to the front and backyard and to drain into an area designed for it to drain to.
To drain, not to,
Yes.
not to pond.
Correct.
Right. You understand what I'm saying, sir?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But another issue with that is
But if
that,
you're having ponding now, if those lots are ponding now, they won't be when they're done, because it's gonna be drained.
yeah, I understand that part. But the point is that the main sewer system, the city sewer, is coming onto not my lot, my side of the lot. On the even side of the lot. 8114, 8112, 8108, whatever the case may be. Thus, all this water is going to be pumped out in this side as opposed to the other side.
So I get all that. You obviously weren't here at the beginning, because we're not gonna do engineering and stuff like that and do the redesign. All I can tell you is, and I'm glad that you are on a commission here because you do have access to the village, that whatever happens with these two lots, it's gonna be engineered for water.
Okay.
That's all I can tell you.
So, and
But none of us are engineering professionals, nor can we speak to
I
it.
understood that.
We know enough just to be dangerous.
Now, for us, me as a resident for the last 33 years in that area, will I be getting a chance to come and address my issues? It's not an issue, I know your village can solve it in the coming future. When will I be informed, okay, there's a commission meeting or the village meeting, so when will I be able to represent myself
For what?
for these issues, what I said?
For the plumbing issue?
Or
Or
the
the-
water issue, the main.
If they're
You have to talk
if
to
they're,
Brian.
if
I
they're
don't
gen-
know, I don't think there's an engineering commission.
if
or
there's
meeting.
general issues with street flooding, I would contact the engineering division of Public Works.
No, again,
But specifically for this building, if it meets the code requirements, zoning, and, you know, civil engineering reviews it, building reviews, and if everything meets code, once it passes the appearance commission and receives a certificate of appropriateness, they will come in for permit.
so the village will have another meeting.
No. If the buildings meet the zoning, which as drawn, they do, the appearance commission will be the only meeting. Once the appearance commission grants a certificate of appropriateness, whether it's tonight or a different evening, after that, as long as the buildings meet the zoning requirements, there will be no more public hearings, they'll come in for permit.
Is there a public hearing from the village
For what?
for the same property? Whatever
It's
they-
on posted on the website, we had someone post sign on the property, and then we notify the abutting neighbors. That's the policy for residential cases.
When you say neighbors, I'm also one of the neighbors, so I'll get a notification.
The properties that touch this property get notified as a courtesy that there's a proposed
The
development.
north-south.
Correct.
And also, can you say that what is the dimension of this property, the buildable property? I know it is a 50 feet wide lot, but how much is the property going to be? The house itself?
Square footage of the house.
Right there, two lots of 50 by 125.
Yeah, one side is little.
The building coverage will be 40% or under of the lot. That's been checked. And the impermeable surfaces, 50% or under. Meeting current code.
That's by the village code?
Yes. They will not be able to cover more than 50% of the lot with buildings, sidewalks, patios, driveways, and no more than 40% of the lot with building area.
So you have the easement on both sides, 5 feet each?
They're required to have 4-foot setbacks minimum.
4 feet?
But
the
depend-
is 5 feet, but I don't know, maybe you get.
They
changed.
propose 4 on this side, 8-9 here, probably due to the shape of the lot and fitting a building on it. 6-6, 5 foot here, 5 foot. They're actually, every setback is actually, this side is 4 here. This setback is more, that's 4-10, 4-5. They're actually showing, probably, again, designing a building on these angled lots, which East Prairie runs to the northeast.
Right. So you get more here, less there.
Yeah, correct.
Five
Yes.
there,
Yeah, the lots look wider on the front of the house than they do the rear.
Yeah, they'll fit into the back a little bit, but as long as they have a 40-foot wide lot, 25 feet setback, it'll meet code for having a buildable lot.
And they're not asking for any variations.
No,
Correct.
nothing's been proposed to us for a variation. If it does, all the neighbors within 250 feet will be notified.
or if there is any variation. Okay,
Correct.
yeah, that's all I have, that's all the question is.
But you like the newer looking ones than the older ones.
Yeah, of
okay.
course, yeah.
Understood.
The old one looks like a 2-flat,
Right, okay.
as opposed to a single family home.
All right, thank you, we appreciate your comments. Was there anybody else who wanted to speak?
Thank you.
All right, yeah, if we could try to speed it along, I'm sorry, we were,
Just asking that.
no problem, please come on up here, and I know you were here for the swearing in, so.
Just state your name for the record,
My
please.
name is Thomas Joseph, 8114 East Prairie.
Thanks,
I've been
Thomas.
living there
Sure,
for last 30 years.
sure.
I'm just asking, that's a garage attached or this?
It's, yeah, it's an attached garage.
Both,
attached in the
both,
front?
both,
front?
both attached garages with
In
driveways to
front,
the
because
front.
There was no garage before, the, the old
There was
building.
no driveway before either, so,
There is a
yeah.
there is a driveway.
Is there a driveway to the existing lot? Okay.
Yes, there is
Okay.
driveway.
But yeah, each of them has their own garage and they each has their own driveway.
Okay.
So that'll take care of the, you know, the most predominantly all the parking, there's a parking issue, they'll be parking on their driveway, so.
Okay.
That's it?
Thank you.
Any preference to the old ones or the new ones? Or you just came here?
I said no.
Okay, great. Just wanted to get your opinion. Any other neighbors have anything to say? All right, let's discuss the pros and cons. Joe, you prefer both of the new ones, or you prefer? what do
You know, it's interesting, I like the old ones, but I respect the comment from the neighbor that,
Yeah.
I mean, these are a little
Right.
more, the edgy look that I do like, with the gable does mimic, a fifties drag house, which is what
Okay.
we all have here, so.
Mimics what?
A fifties house, I'll keep the other word out of it.
So, is
Although
this, okay, this is the, these are the two elevations of that house. All right, so we've
This is
seen
the
that house. What's the
south
address of that?
The south lot.
This will be the south house, 8109.
The one thing that I want to make sure is that little piece above the gable is actually like the SketchUp drawing, so that parapet dies into the gable. See that, like see that above, I'm gonna point, this thing right here,
Yeah, it's a little odd.
that works, whereas the other one
Right.
is just it's a SketchUp error.
So, okay, so let's do this, and, all right, so we've resolved that 8109, we've got at least a couple of neighbors that like it, and you've addressed what we want. Let's go back to 8115, we'll do these in order.
For this one, I have a revised version of, it's just overall we changed the roof a little bit.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I have a revised version for this one.
You have a revised elevation?
Yes. Can I present?
Give it to Brian.
It's interesting, while Brian's doing that, there was, before my time on here, I think, or maybe I had just stepped into it halfway through on, I think 7200 or 7400.
Let's see.
Colmar
Which one?
or whatever. It's the same style.
This
We
one?
made 'em- the neighbors were
Adamant about something?
yeah,
about-
and they put a hip roof on it, and it's interesting, you can't really tell, because they did a really similar one. Yeah,
Oh, okay, this
okay.
is a different.
Side by
Yeah.
side.
So that hip roof is actually over the whole house. You took away that cool butterfly roof.
Yes, but we are still keeping on the front entrance a part a little bit flat roof.
So you're taking
The
all the
black in front.
sexiness out of it.
Kinda made it
Sorry,
look
that's
too
my
boring.
opinion.
Yeah, I see what you're saying,
With the
Joe.
overhang
So-
and everything?
So, they probably did this, what do you guys prefer? That, I'm talking to the applicant. Do you prefer that? Or do you prefer,
Oh, sorry. This?
No.
ah,
Or-
No.
Okay,
Just
sorry.
there's
That.
that.
Yeah.
So we are planning to do like that's 5109. So we are still planning to build one building.
Can you speak into the microphone, because he's,
So in 5109 we are still planning to do our same. We're just revising 5115.
look at, the one on the far right, that's 8109.
09, yes, that's two
We've
building
already,
together.
we've already talked about that. We haven't done our motions and voting on it yet, but we're past that. Now we're talking about this for now. Did you, which one on 8115 do you prefer? Do you prefer this, which kind of looks like now it's a house in Timber Ridge? Or do you prefer that? You're aware of the two different drawings, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you
Here,
did you do this one on the left here in order just to make sure that
That you had options.
this we did to make sure if you don't like a first option, because for first commission you don't like them.
Right.
To
So you
have-
did it to try to please us.
Yes,
All right, but in actuality, you would prefer to have,
first.
but this one, what Joe likes,
I think
yes.
that's better with the
right?
other ones.
Is that what you prefer?
Yes.
Good, now we know. You got your section.
Camels designed by committee.
You got your section.
That's what we did.
At least we didn't draw it. All right, so
I like that one better.
if we approve that one, you're good with it?
Yes.
Joe, make a motion on it.
Okay.
So this is 8115.
And then we're gonna do them separately.
Thank
So,
you.
okay,
Thank you.
I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number 2023-006A, 8115 East Prairie Road, as submitted prior to the meeting. So this one,
Correct.
the one that was submitted into the packet.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so passed. All right, I'm gonna call case number 2023-007A, 8109 East Prairie Road.
The comments have not been read heretofore, so I will read them now. Staff is not in,
Are we sure?
the staff is not in
It's 8115.
favor, a top right portion of the front elevation, triangular roof. The triangular top of the right side looks out of place and should be redesigned. Staff has no objections with the other parts of the elevations.
Well, we talked about it, and what we were trying to do was get a gable look in there for the residential feel of the neighborhood. And you did it in a contemporary style. Did I say that correctly, Joe?
Absolutely.
Okay. Then fire away.
Again, okay. I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted for
Okay.
case number
Bending my arm.
2023-007A, 8109 East Prairie Road, as presented in the packet,
Yeah, it's, yeah,
hearing
submitted.
packet,
Yes.
with the assurance that the parapet above the front door is not the 2D elevation, it's the 3D elevation. And again, if you scroll up, Brian, I just want to just point out to you what I'm talking about here again, is that 2D elevation, the parapet doesn't go all the way into the gable, and I think that's one of the reasons why staff was probably.
I don't know, we will be
But
do
you like that.
more.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
You want it to be.
I want it to
back-
be into the.
Die all the way in.
Die into
Yeah.
the,
Right.
so that it doesn't look like.
You want it
it's-
to look like that.
More like. that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
we are planning to do like that. That's probably just for like conference program.
Just wanted to point it out so that we're all clear.
Yes.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? No opposed, so passed. All right, great.
One more question, sir, can I?
Yeah, but the case is closed, but you got a quick question? Come on.
Thank you.
You gotta be quick.
Very quick.
He's done, but come on up.
My question is very brief. I just want to know what is 8109 square footage, 8115 square footage.
Are you talking about the square footage on the lot?
No, the Lord, we
house
already
square
said that about
It's,
the house
it-
itself.
it's
the
in the,
building
it's in the
itself.
packet, but here are the numbers. It's in the packet on the website. I could email you a link to it.
Okay, so you don't have it right now?
It's right here.
Well,
right
here's
there.
one of them.
How much is that?
So
2195?
it's 1713 is proposed. It's 482 feet lower than what would be allowed. So they're not building out to their full square footage.
So
They're
what is
building
it? It's 2195?
No, that's allowed. Proposed is 1713.
1713,
Yeah.
okay. That is 8109, right?
That's the first floor,
Correct, yeah.
1713, total
Oh,
3292.
okay. Thank you. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
the building coverage, if people do two-story homes, always get closer to the FAR and less, they're further away from the 40%
I see.
building
Thank you
coverage.
for clarification.
Thank you.
Okay.
But on the FAR, he was still 470 or so, around the area. Okay, great, thank you. You're done, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Case
Thank you.
number 2023-011A at 4225 Lyons. This is a second floor residential addition, revised plans. Are they here? Okay.
This request was first approved on December 8th, 2021. The revised plans feature some material and window changes. The staff prefers the originally approved west elevation to the current proposed elevation. Staff has no objection to the material changes.
So this has been sitting dormant for 2 years?
No. It's under construction.
Or a year and a half, let's say? Okay. 4225 Lyons. It's west of Crawford.
North of Church.
So this is the previously approved front elevation, which is the north.
What was the staff comment? I'm sorry. Oh, good.
They don't like the west window.
They don't like the,
Previously approved west elevation, which is staff's preference. Revised front elevation.
It had that big thing in the middle, that's right. Remember.
New one. And this is the newly proposed west elevation.
that's the original, that's up there now, Brian?
Correct.
Yeah.
This was approved in December 2021.
And the new has a horizontal window. What happened to the windows to the right? They're gone.
That's correct.
That's correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So were those existing or were those new? Those were
No,
new?
the entire second floor
Okay.
there's new.
So you had one double hung and a couple of awning style, or hard transom style, if you will?
No, they had a clear story
yeah.
and a single double.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the clear story was in the primary closet, and the owner requested that we move the clear story into the bedroom. And from the interior, they would align their bed with the clear story above.
Okay. So that's that. We're talking about a window change. What else has changed?
May I proceed?
Yeah, well, let me just see.
yeah.
I would just want to see on the drawing.
Yeah, you see the windows on the second floor addition that align with the existing first floor living room window. Those were proposed as two separate windows. Those we're requesting that we gang those windows. That allows the owner more flexibility in the interior space for furniture placement.
It's interesting because I've been watching this because I like the original one, and I walked
remember.
by here often, and I was watching it go up, and I was kind of scratching my head. You built it on what you wanted, not what you got approved. So I'm just because I was scratching my head. I was looking at it. I was thinking it looks a little.
It depends on
different.
when you drove past. The contractor had to rebuild the front facade.
Yeah,
on
and
the
there's been a
left.
lot going on over here.
Yeah.
And then, so you put in what you wanted, which is the ganged window over the picture
Yeah.
window instead of the two separate that we
Yeah.
originally approved. And then you put the transom in where you wanted it rather than over on the south side of the west elevation.
Well, I was happy with what I proposed originally.
Yeah,
And the
it's-
reason
You're-
for that
Are you
is-
the architect? sir?
I'm the architect of record, yes.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of, I really like what I do on this commission.
Yeah, I know you do.
It's important to me, and when I walked by it, I was like, I was kind of curious, so I went back.
Yeah.
And I looked at what we had approved, because I generally like it. I think it's really cool. I like that. I remember talking about the middle, and the tower in the center. I thought it's great. Just proportionally, it's different. I mean, it really is, and it's, when you don't follow the rules, it kind of puts you in a bad spot if you get caught. And unfortunately, the work's done, but it's not finished. So
I mean, I prefer the way the submission looks with them separated like that, like the original submission on this elevation.
And the reason is, and I'm going to give you a reason, the reason why I feel like it is, and it's a split level. I know you've got paired windows over there, but the way it just sits, and proportionally, it looks better with two windows on the front.
Well, and it makes sense. You got the outside, the sides are lined up at the outside of the picture window, and it's, down below. You slam them
Yeah.
together, it doesn't make sense at all. But There was something about material changes. Did you change any materials?
Yes, from hardy board to, well, we haven't constructed it yet, but we're asking for a change from hardy board to Novik stone. And we've submitted the technical brochure with it.
Yeah, sorry, that picture came through very small.
What is it? Joe, you know what it is?
I'm glad that it's not stacked stone.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
explain, so
It-
tell
it-
me where it is on the house now.
Yeah, it's a synthetic material, and it would be clad in the second floor. Yeah, that.
I need to see it drawn. I can't just,
Mhm.
you can't just show me a little picture, my personal opinion. I need to see it fully elevated, because if I see that picture looking all on the top of it, I don't know, it might look ugly. Go back to with all due respect, I know you spent some time picking this with your customer, but was that to go over
there.
everything, or just above?
Above the existing brick, there'd be a stone horizontal. Well,
Why do they wanna do, why does he wanna do, is it financial, or is it?
there was a concern with the life cycle cost and upkeep of hardy board.
Well,
It's not gonna look good with
so,
that material.
you're not in favor of this change either. I know you're not, you're on the record, but.
Well, I need to represent my client's
Right.
interests.
Right.
And the client is concerned about the repainting and the upkeep of hardy board.
He's gotta. I won't vote for that.
It's unfortunate, because, I mean, what would be really cool would be like Nichihau panels, do something contemporary with
Right.
the center, do something fun. Kind of going back to that stone above brick just seems,
Right.
it's like it's not gonna look right. You've got
It
a
is upside down,
contemporary.
right? The massing is reversed and you can't.
And, getting to it just doesn't seem like it's appropriate. I wouldn't vote for it. It just, the color doesn't seem right.
The color's not gonna match, it's gonna be
if-
slightly,
Two different patterns.
Yeah, and you've got, sometimes I'd have to see the stone too. I mean, if they're adamant about it and you come back and you've got a sample that we can see.
Actually, I'm the owner.
Okay.
Sample of the stone.
Okay.
Well, but that's not gonna do it for me, because
It's a siding. I mean, what can people do any kind of siding on the house? Now with the hardy
is
board,
that the color?
that is the color.
Well,
The color
I
was
can't look at
different.
that one sample, sir, and say, oh, I get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I see this wonderful hand-drawn drawing, by the way, and I see brick, but I don't see what this is. I mean, that material,
It's like people, they do aluminum siding.
I
This
know,
is more.
I get it. I get it.
It's not compatible with the brick.
So
So
here's
that
what I'm gonna,
material-
here's what I'm gonna say, because we spent too much time on this. One, I'm aggravated because you went ahead and changed it and you didn't get approval first. So I'm not gonna even make a motion, because I don't like those together, like Joe said. Flip to the other elevation on the window. Brian, the west, I think it was, or whatever it was. This is the elevation now that, it faces a street, right? Are we on a corner?
Yeah, we're on a corner
Correct,
lot.
corner
Right,
lot.
right, so what was the original look?
your stories has double hung.
This is interesting where this is
I
actually,
mean, now,
No,
Now-
that's not the.
I would be okay. First of all, I forgot, I don't know what happened to the vertical mullions, because they're not there now on your new clear story. I would personally be okay if you want to get rid of the double hung and go clear story, a pair of clear stories. and get
Actually,
rid of
if
the
you
double
bring
hung.
a picture up,
But the one you're showing, you're just showing me a big clear story with no character to it.
Yeah.
You're just showing me a big piece of glass.
they've got they put in that window already. I'm just curious what it looks like. Here it is. Okay.
Well,
so it's
see, all right, so it's not drawn,
Yeah.
so it does have the,
Yeah,
it does have the,
them.
so put another one over there and then it makes sense.
Put another one,
Put the original one in,
Original, symmetrical, aligned
Right.
with the window below.
Right.
okay.
but, so my opinion is, and it's just, I'm one of 7 commissioners, is, and this elevation, you wanna clean it up, you put another one in. By the way, that looks smaller in scale than what
Does.
you drew.
Yeah.
So I want we want, it's gotta be right. So we need a clear story there, the clear story there, flip it around, the 2 windows gotta be separated like you had originally.
Mhm.
And then you're gonna have to come back with a drawing that shows us what you wanna do. This will not look good, and I won't even pass that. It's too big relative to the brick up above versus the, right? You would normally do heavy mass look down on the
But this
bottom
is just a
and thin
corner
on the top.
piece. It's only a corner piece.
Sir,
But it's.
with all due respect, you can't bring us that and they say, this is what it's gonna look like on the whole house. You know what I mean? Especially when it's a new material that we haven't seen before. It's not, and if you'd said it's vinyl siding, we would've definitely said, no, we approved a hardy board, that's what we wanna do. So that's kind of where we're at.
Mhm.
So-
Does anybody disagree with
Do I
me?
have to go with a hardy board?
If you wanted, what one of the commissioners suggested is if your concern was truly about maintenance of the hardy board,
Maintenance and cost.
well, all right, that's not what came up. But I'm not saying that makes it any easier. But if it's maintenance, there's tons of other maintenance-free materials that are
That's what I
cool.
was, yeah,
But you consult your architect and figure out what that is.
when we looked into it and we did our investigation and research, we were told this is just very comparable to the hardy board. It's maintenance free, it's lifetime manufacturing, lifetime warranty on it,
That's not
and
pretty.
it's better than aluminum. That's what we were told,
Sure.
and I already submitted the manufacturing data sheet
Right.
with this.
Right. Then you have to, then show it. Show me exactly what it'll look like. Hire your architect to do a full rendering for us. Because in my heart to the neighborhood, I can't just go, oh, yeah, that'll be great. And if it turns out hideous, then, and we approved it, we signed off on it, so. I have many regrets on a couple of cases that I've approved, okay? And to this day, it bothers me. And not necessarily houses, one was on a particular corner. Tom knows which one it is.
I do. I already.
So, and I don't wanna,
It's
do
not
that again,
returnable.
but this doesn't, this is does anybody else have a similar comment to what I'm saying?
It's not attractive.
Right, so,
The
With
whole
different
point of the commission
combinations,
is
not-
that you get
Right.
approval from us, and then you move forward with your project as budgeted and as designed. And whether you bought all the wrong material or not, you needed to come to us to get it approved or revised.
Yeah, I
And
wasn't aware of that, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought,
it's-
minor changes could be okay, because the material on the outside, I thought you could choose whatever material you want. I didn't know, because the
not,
hardy board.
not when you're getting a building permit for it, you know what I mean? So,
I see.
no, if you were gonna re-side your house, I'm not sure what the permit, thing is for that,
Well, reciting an existing sided house, similar style, similar color, no permits
Right.
required. What would be a change is
But
reviewed
this
by
is this is a
myself.
full-scale addition, which requires a building permit, which requires us to see the thing. Maybe that is the right material, but that's definitely not the right color. So, you guys go back to the drawing, but what I'm telling you is you got a building permit right now, right? Go back to what the building permit tells you to do for now, and we kind of told you what we would do, we would allow with the clear story, right on this elevation. We would all kind of give a gentleman's agreement that that's okay here.
Right.
Spread out those windows up there, come back next meeting with a material, or whether it's that material in a different color, or, you understand where
Yeah,
we're going with this,
I do,
right?
I do.
Cool.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
I was not sworn in. I don't know if it makes a difference.
we'll trust you.
Yeah, okay.
The stenographer over here will trust you, so, but,
All right,
There's
good.
other cementitious
lying?
materials that maybe.
Did you lie at
you'll
all?
Find.
okay, good. So-
If it's not James Hardy, there could be another material as long as it's cementitious and it's
Yeah.
it's close. That would probably be able to fit
So
within
vinyl
that.
material is not accepted either?
Was no, because you've gotten approved with cementitious, which is James Hardy. Whether it's Hardy or whether it's some other brand of the same thing, as long as it's a Hardy, Hardy is.
Was the Hardy
FC.
board gonna be horizontal or vertical in nature? On the originals?
What did you say?
The Hardy board was gonna be horizontal or vertical?
Horizontal.
Horizontal, okay. Yeah, but you had, you know, there's detail, you know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
So, you had horizontal banding and stuff like that, so.
I was really excited about this
Yeah,
proposal
make it-
when
make
it
it-
came in. It looked really nice, and so, yeah, I mean, you've got a really good start. I mean, it's a really great plan. It's just,
That's,
going,
I'm
it's
surprised
going
because
wrong.
everybody walks by and say, it looks great. I have not heard any bad comment
Right.
from any of the neighbors.
All right, so,
They may not think that.
Right, they haven't
if
seen
you
it
put-
finished,
If
so.
you put that stone on top, that faux stone on top.
all right, we're gonna move on.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate your,
Okay.
being patient. Case 2023-086A, 4221 Church. You get a little consideration since you were here so long.
This request was first approved on December 8th, 2021.
Uh-oh.
The revised
Uh-oh.
plans feature material changes and some minor window changes.
Wow.
Staff has no objections with and prefers the updated elevations.
That's a good thing.
All right.
But it's still a hole in the ground, so.
Yeah.
Yes, took the words right out of my mouth.
This is literally one block
It's around the
north
corner.
of the other case.
My clients have not been sworn in, does it?
Tom had a,
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
So originally approved December 2021.
that's what we're looking at?
Yes. It was a mix. I remember their comments about adding more masonry versus
Yeah,
some of the
I
siding.
remember this
Sure.
too, on the side, wrapping it around.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Next to the White House.
So you wanna,
Yeah. So we went with majority of the house will now be a brick color, with the exception of the accent corner piece, which is more of a material metal panel that has a wood looking feature, and just kind of extend it for you so you can see it. So the different grains in.
But it's
patterns-
metal, that's
it's
just the
metal.
color, that's just the color palette?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, it has wood grains, but all the grains are kind of mismatched, so it's not just one
Sure,
metal
sure,
tone.
understand, but it is a metal panel.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and it is that deep dark tone against that same brick color that you showed it?
Yeah, versus,
Just hold them up together,
this is the
if you wouldn't mind. just-
primary color, and now this is the accent.
Yeah, I think that'll look really cool together.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a picture rendering.
No. Trust me, when you get us nodding like this, don't.
No, they don't have it.
Oh, they don't have it in the drawing?
It's not.
Uh,
Yeah, they do, they
So
do.
that's a
Oh.
lighter tone, but we're
Yeah.
like reversed
Sure.
what the
I know.
drawing looks like,
Brian can show
kind of.
that.
The brick is
Anybody?
the
Brian, can
Which
you
one?
show that?
And the window changes are, what happened to
So-
the windows?
Little metal
Uh,
across the front.
The accent corner, it's two different windows. We're kind of giving it more of a single window with a metal panel in the middle.
Mhm.
black metal
It's got the
panel.
little
Yeah.
half round above
Yeah.
it.
If you go down, scrolls down to the actual renderings of it. It
Oh,
kinda
yes.
Really,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's more or less is what it's gonna look like.
Don't you wish they could render brick properly?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It'll get there.
It's warmer what their brick is than what they see there too, so it's not quite as white.
And renderings don't put the mullions in really well.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, looks cool.
Yeah.
Joe, any comments?
No, I like it. I like the material choice. I think it's gonna be cool to see. I'm excited about it. I do like the original window over the door, but I understand why you did this, and it actually kind of mimics the house just to the east a little bit, so you're kind of contextual if you wanted to use a pointy-headed term. But yeah, looks fine. Looks good.
All right, somebody make the final motion of the night.
Is that, just a second, is that front door all black? Everything is like a double door?
It's a,
Haven't really picked out the door yet, but I think we're gonna, go with the, to tie it in with the.
The darker,
brown.
the darker
Brown,
tone.
maybe
Yeah.
the brown
To the
color,
brown,
not
yeah.
as black?
No.
I'm not gonna go with,
Yeah, I would agree with that, yeah.
All right.
And thank you for coming back and not
Doing
going
it the
through
right
what
way.
you decide. It's
You s-
really, it is.
You see what
really-
happens when you
building
do
it
it the
yet.
wrong way.
the
And-
strange coincidence is when they got approved originally is the same as.
Yes, we noticed that.
Same time.
December 8th,
Yeah.
2021.
we
It's a
they
dark
lived down
day for
that-
some people.
That side of the block.
And yeah, we made you go in the hallway and make changes and come back and yeah, I remember.
Oh, good memory.
Yeah.
All right,
And
Joe.
if I'll be the
Kurt.
crazy old man standing in the street
Tom,
with
you
my
got it.
hands on.
Yeah, sure. Before we go into it any further, I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number 2023-086A at 4221 Church Street as presented in the revised submission.
I'll
Any-
second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed.
Thank you.
I thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck, it's gonna be great.
Thank you.
It'll be great.
Anybody else? All right, no business, meeting's adjourned at 8:50.
Here, podium off.